What's up, everybody? In this video I'm going over the top 5 things anyone should own in GTA 5 Online first before buying anything else. I've had people joining some of my money making streams asking me to help them, and I say sure, but then I don't have any way of helping them because they don't have any of the things that you're about to see on this list. If you guys don't have anything on this list, I definitely recommend saving up to buy it, and without saying anything else, I'll go ahead and get onto the number 5 spot. So first on the list, I have an apartment. And the reason I believe you should buy an apartment first before you really buy anything else in this game is because that way you can start doing heists to make even more money, make back even more money that you spent buying the apartment. The cheapest apartment you can buy is $200,000. So you could maybe, if you're just literally just starting the game, you could have a friend invite you to a heist or something, get some money, and then you can buy the apartment. The reason I feel like you should buy the apartment first is because you have an actual spawn location. You can spawn in the city, and also allows you to store cars in a garage. You get a 10-car garage if you buy the 200,000 apartment that I just showed on the screen there. But you also have to buy that apartment at least in order to have the heist board, so you can do the heist. The heist, I'm not sure exactly how much money it makes you in total. I do have a Reddit post I found that I will leave in the description to the link to that post so you guys can see the heist and the payouts for them. So overall, the apartment, you get a spawn location, 10-car garage, and you can start doing heists and making yourself some more money to get yourself started. Now on to the number 4 spot. Next on the list, I have the CEO office. My CEO office that I own is the Maze Bank office, which I got for the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack. And if you don't have the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack, the one I have is only $1 million. It is also the cheapest one, and you will be able to get that money if you do the heist from the apartment. You can also have your spawn location here if you buy the accommodation, which you don't really need to buy because if you have the apartment that's actually right across the street from this building, you don't really need the accommodation for the CEO office. What else is useful about the CEO office is at the front desk, when you go to the lady sitting at the front desk, you can actually buy, well, you're not really buying, you can actually get free snacks. As you can see here, I just ate a few to demonstrate because my snacks were actually full. And you can go in and buy snacks for free here at the front desk. Now, around the building, you have a few laptops that you can actually do. It doesn't do anything special, it's just the internet, the same as you'd use on the phone. And you also have this area here where you can sit and use the TV, and then the accommodation room as well where your spawn location is, and you can actually change your outfits and clothes in here. Now for the main laptop, or not the laptop, the main computer that you use, this is where you can actually do vehicle cargo missions, special cargo, and the special warehouse missions. The crate missions allow you to buy crates, go and steal them, and then you can actually sell them for a lot more money. That is also a really good way of making money, except I haven't used it much personally. I only have one small warehouse. Now, as for the vehicle cargo, I've actually made a little over $6 million, as you can see at the bottom of the screen there. I will actually be showing you guys a mission of me doing one of these to demonstrate how it works if you've never done one before. I have the cheapest warehouse that's in the around the bottom right side of the city. It's a decent location and it's really not bad. And it's only, I think it's 1.5 million, I believe. So here's me doing a mission right now. So as you can see here, I'm sourcing a car, and now what you want to do when you buy the vehicle warehouse is keep sourcing cars until you have about 10 mid-range and 10 standard range cars. That way, every single time you do a import-export mission, you will get a high-end vehicle, which sells for the most money. So after you go outside of the office, you get a message telling you what the car looks like, the color, the license plate, and you get different missions every time. For this mission, I got an image, which is at Vespucci Beach, and I have to go fly over there and actually find the car. And you can see here I'm flying around looking for the car, and I actually find it sitting on the road here. So all I do is just drive it back to my vehicle warehouse, finish it. Luckily, I'd managed to get no damage, delivering it with 0 repair costs, keeping that number the same. You have to be careful while trying to deliver it to your warehouse because it can get damaged, and that will take away money that you could possibly be making. Now, every time you finish sourcing a car, there is a bit of a cooldown before you can source another. But right after you do source one and you bring it back to the warehouse, you can actually sell it right away. So that is what I'm doing here. Now, you'll see in a second here the different export options. You have private, showroom, and specialist dealer. Each one different. The first one you don't pay anything. The second one you have to pay $10,000, and the third one you pay 20,000. But the third one also makes you 100,000 in return, so you'd be making $80,000 in profit. So it's always best to do the third one. Now here I'm customizing the car. It doesn't matter at all how you customize it. Um, it just puts the performance upgrades on for you anyways. So I was just customizing it a little here for the video. But any other time I'll just put on any paint job and just put on any wheels and anything like that. Because it really doesn't matter at all how you customize the car. So while delivering the vehicle, it might be a little farther away sometimes. I got, I get a pretty good location. This one isn't too far. And some tips for while you're delivering this car is if you have a cargo bob, you can use that. It takes a little bit of extra time to get it out and hook on the car and everything. But it does make sure you take literally no damage from crashing into cars or anything. Except players might shoot you out the air or something. But you always want to do these missions with at least one other player in your lobby. It does have to be in a public lobby, but sometimes people try to do these in solo public lobbies, but I really wouldn't recommend doing so because if you try selling a car in a lobby with no other players, then NPCs will actually spawn and they will shoot your car and deal damage to it, which can be really annoying. So what you want to do is have at least one person in your lobby. It can be a friend or like anything. You literally just have to join any lobby with at least one person. That way no NPCs will spawn. You want to be aware of your surroundings. Don't try to go too fast. I'm going pretty fast here because I'm used to doing these missions. I know kind of the routes and where cars might be coming from and all that. It does take a while to be able to get used to that kind of stuff. But take your time. Don't try to rush through it too fast and you'll be able to deliver it like I did here with literally no damage at all. So I made $80,000 here, and that's how I've made about 6 million from doing just these missions alone from the CEO office. Now, along with the CEO office, you have to buy it. It doesn't come with it. You have to buy it. But if you buy all 3 office garages, you get a total of 60 car storage in your garages, which is a ton of storage, probably more than some people will need. All 3 of mine are almost full though. But yeah, it's a bunch of storage, definitely worth buying if you buy the CEO office. So I'd save up for that too. Even if you don't need all 3, even if you buy one, that's 20 cars that you can store in here. So that's really useful along with it. So overlooking everything, along with the CEO office, you can become a CEO, do CEO work, you can do the vehicle warehouse missions, the special vehicle with missions. You can do crate missions. It gives you a spawn location. You can change your outfits and everything in the accommodation, and you also get a 60 car garage if you buy all 3. If not, if you only buy one, you still get 20 car space, which is also still pretty good. So now on to number 3. So next up I have the arcade, which is from the Diamond Casino Heist that came out about a month ago now. You get four in the city, and then you got 2 that are more to the top of the map. I would not recommend buying the 2 at the top of the map at all, because even if you don't have that much money and you're just trying to buy one just because you want one, do not, because the casino's down here at the bottom of the map, near the bottom. It's a little close to the middle, but then the other 2 arcades are literally super far at the opposite side of the map, so I would not recommend buying those 2. I'd recommend buying this one. You see me click on the screen here for 1.8 million. You just have to save up a little bit extra, so I definitely recommend buying this one. You get good customization with the arcade. There's a bunch of different things you can do. You can also have your spawn location here if you want. And now getting on to the major details of the arcade. Now taking a look at the inside of the arcade, I do actually have all the arcade games. The reason I bought all of them is because the more arcade games you have, the more income you actually get to be stored in the safe in the office. Once you own all the games and you place them all out on the arcade floor, then you can get I'm pretty sure it's 10,000 or 5,000. forgot, but you get 10,000 or 5,000 every 48 minutes, I'm sure, which is 1 day in GTA, and that can add up to a total of $50,000 to where it'll stop producing. Now, the Master Control Terminal is also a huge key in buying the arcade, where this will be later in the video, but once you have all the businesses owned, you can actually buy supplies and sell from here if you wanted. I wouldn't recommend doing so because the delivery vehicles would still spawn at the actual MC businesses. But you can see here, my cash factory needed supplies, so I bought supplies for that from here in the arcade instead of having to go to all the businesses separately and buying some. So it's super useful and saves you a lot of time. Now the main attraction of the arcade, which is the heist, and you can do the heist over and over however many times you want. All you need to do is the preps for them, and you only need at least one more other person to do them with. Now I want to give a shout out to Landbear BVB for letting me use his heist in this video, and for inviting me to his heist to do it real quick. You can see the total take there, potential take, is 2.1 million, which is a ton of money. We're doing it with 3 people here, so we can get a little extra. But you can see that's a ton of money, especially since you can do this heist over and over. And however many preps you do for the heist actually determines how long it's going to take you and how hard it's going to be. The more preps you do, you know, the easier it is, depending on which ones you do. It didn't take us too long to do this heist. Took us about 20 minutes to do. We managed to get a 1.8 million take. And even though I only got 20%, I managed to get around 266k. So that is not a bad cut at all. Especially since if you are the heist leader and you could give yourself a higher cut, you get a lot more money than that. So now, overall with the highcade, you get to do the heist. You get the arcade game income. You have the Master Control Terminal. You also get a garage. I forgot to talk about that. And you also have a spawn location there. So now for number 2 is going to have to be the MC businesses, and I'm also going to include the bunker along with it. For the MC businesses, you actually have to buy the clubhouse first. They're not really that expensive. The cheapest one, around 300k. Mine is a little more expensive, but along with the clubhouse, you get some good customization. You can change the decorations, the walls, the floors. You can change your club name. You can add a gun locker and a custom bike shop, even if you wanted. A custom bike shop helps if you are into motorcycles. If you have them in your clubhouse, you can just customize them right there. Now, taking a look at the actual businesses that you can buy, I would recommend buying out of all the forgeries, the weed businesses, the counterfeit cash factories, the meth lab, and the cocaine lockup. I would recommend buying the cheapest ones for all of those because they are all sort of in the same vicinity over in Sandy Shores. And the ones in the city do cost more, and plus you'd be delivering about the same distance. So I'd recommend buying those 5 that are the cheapest out of all of them. So you'll see for some of these businesses, I've made close to a few $1,000,000. It's helped me make a lot of money. It's probably going to start helping me make a lot more money in the future because I'm going to start selling my businesses much more. Document forgery hasn't made me that much because I don't sell that one as often. And now I included the bunker in this list because it's sort of the same concept as the MC businesses. You buy product, you let it stock up, and then you sell it. Bunker locations, they're a little all over the place. There's some at the top, some in the middle, and then there's also one closest to the city at the left at the bottom. That's the one I actually own because it makes sales a lot easier because it's the closest they can possibly be. Bunker customization, there's also some really good choices. You can change the styles of it. You can also add a personal quarters so you can spawn there. There's a shooting range if you're interested in that, and there's also a gun locker and transportations, little caddies that you can buy that also help you get around a little quicker. Now for the actual website itself, you go on here, you can buy supplies for the bunker, and then eventually you can sell it. The most you can sell it for, I believe, is if you sell it to the city, it's about $1 million, which is what I always do. I'd recommend you doing that as well. It's a good amount of money. You can also do research for the bunker, but I actually already have my research done. I was wondering about making a guide for research actually. If you guys are interested, let me know in the comments down below. I could talk about it and sort of make a guide on how it works and all that. But as you can see, I've made close to $3 million from the bunker, so I've only really made 3 sales from the bunker, since each time you get around $1 million. But it has made me a ton of money. It's super useful. As you can see here, I'm just walking around the stock since it is full. It produces weapons, so supplies are 75,000 like the other businesses. You let it fill up, and then you can sell it to the city. It gets you a good amount of money. So looking at the MC businesses, they make you money. You have to buy the clubhouse first, and then also with the bunker also makes you money. So they're super useful and definitely a good investment to make. And now on to number one on my list. So number one on my list is going to be a reliable or go-to vehicle or multiple vehicles that you're just overall comfortable with or like using. But this ones, you don't have to use any of the ones I have here. These are just some of my recommendations that you should buy because they're super useful and good to get around the map. And that is the Oppressor Mark II, the Deluxo, the Thruster, the Vigilante, the regular Oppressor, the Buzzard, and the Kuruma. So the Oppressor Mark II, useful because you can call it through the MC menu or you can call it through the mechanic. It gets around really quickly. As, you can boost as soon as you get on it, and it has missiles that are also very useful if you have a mission that involves killing enemies or anything. The Deluxo, pretty much the same. It's if you don't like using the Oppressor, you can use the Deluxo too. They're both pretty much the same thing. The Thruster is sort of like a helicopter, except I feel like it's a little more agile. It can get around and move a few more places easier than a regular helicopter could. The Vigilante also, because I'm pretty sure it is the fastest vehicle in the game on ground. That can't like go in the air or anything. You can use it for heists, so it's super useful to get around with. Also, the Oppressor, I like using more than the Oppressor Mark II actually. I consider it more fun to use because you have to actually try to use it to fly correctly and glide with it. It's a lot of fun to use and also gets around really quickly. Also, the Buzzard, because the only helicopter I have on this list because you can call it through the CEO menu under vehicles. Once you buy it, you can just call it. It literally spawns right away, right next to you in the street. That helicopter is also super good. Has missiles and guns on it as well. I like using that for some missions as well. And so also the armored Kuruma, because that's useful for if you have to do drive-bys in a mission or if you have to kill enemies and you can't really use any other vehicle. You can use the Kuruma and just shoot through it since it's really armored, pretty much nearly impenetrable by bullets. So that's why I also included that on the list. So again, number one spot, that's going to be ending it. It's just any vehicle, any of these vehicles, doesn't have to be one of these. It's just any vehicle that gets you around quickly that you can rely on. You always know to call out that you can get around, help you get around really fast. So again, my list was the Oppressor Mark II, the Deluxo, the Thruster, the Vigilante, the Oppressor, the Buzzard, and the Kuruma. So that is going to be all for this video. Let me know in the comments if you guys agreed with my list or not, if there's anything else you think I might have missed out on. So again, my entire list was pretty much just in conclusion, the apartment, the CEO office, the arcade, the MC businesses, and the bunker, and just any vehicle that you can always rely on. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Again, let me know in the comments if you guys agree with me or not, if there's anything you think I might have missed out on. Leave a like on the video if this helped you out or if you enjoyed. It'd mean a lot. Also subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next one.